We're going to talk a little bit today, like I said, about strategies to reconnect with family and personal life when you're feeling really burnt out. For those of you who are new here, welcome and thank you. My name is Alex Stark. I'm a licensed therapist, executive burnout coach. I'm a mindfulness meditation facilitator, a former nonprofit executive leader. I'm a mom, a wife. I have two young daughters, and I live in southern Missouri. So let's get started a little bit, okay? Wanted to talk through some strategies. It's really common for women who are experiencing burnout to be disconnected, right? You're tired, you're exhausted, you cannot possibly do one more thing for one more person, and you're done. And so you disconnect, even from the people who love you the most. So please let me know, in the comments, has this happened to you before? Have you ever experienced this? Even if you're watching this on replay, I'd love to know that you're watching it, and if anything, that we talked about today resonated with you. Let's dive in, okay? So we know that healthy relationships and positive relationships need to be nurtured, right? They need to be nurtured. They need to be cared for and to maintain, even with kids, even with partners, even with intimacy. So all types of relationships have to be nurtured. When you're feeling burnt out, when you're feeling on the brink, you don't have what you need in order to nurture those relationships. So sometimes you feel disconnected. Really common, unfortunately, in executive women who are feeling burnt out. First thing, identify the triggers for your disconnection, right? So is it time? Is it anxiety? Is it disinterest? This is a really great start for general kind of introspection. So think about exactly what is going on. Try to write it down, journal, do what you need to do to really make sure that you understand the cause and the trigger for your disconnection. Okay, really important. Second thing, be really intentional with your time. Okay, this is going to make you feel more in control. It's going to make you feel more present. You're going to have to plan in advance a little bit, really have something to look forward to. But feeling in control of your time and being autonomous is really huge in helping to keep people happy and content. When we aren't in control of our time, we feel disconnected because we're like, hey, what's going on here? How can I be, an adult and successful, but every single second of my day is spoken for? Right? So really taking back control of your time, being intentional with your time, making plans, and being sure that you can really make that happen. Okay. Third tip, practice active listening and empathy. What I mean by that is be engaged. Okay, be engaged with the people who are in your home, who are in your life. You don't have to always be working. You don't have to always be thinking about work. You can and you should really practice that active listening. It forces you to be more engaged in a conversation. It forces you to have your focus on that person, whether it's a partner or a child or a friend who you haven't talked to in a while. Call it out also. Say, hey, I recognize I have been really disengaged lately. Okay, I'm sorry. Once you kind of recognize and realize that you have been disengaged, you have been, you know, maybe not the behaving in the way that you typically do, or you just can't because you're just feeling like that's too much. It's okay to say to somebody, hey, I'm really sorry. I've been kind of a shitty friend or, a shitty partner lately. I'm sorry. I've been really disengaged. Sometimes just calling it out is a little bit liberating because you're taking back control of your feelings. You're taking back control of your own life. And then you're going to call it out, practice active listening and empathy with your friends, family, partners. Okay. Fourth thing, try something new, right? We say a lot, oh, we should really, do this, or I've really been meaning to do that. And I mean, guilty, right? Same here. I've been wanting to take my kids to this, place for 2 years and I haven't. So who's been there? I mean, let me know, if you've been there, if you said something like that. We have a tendency to kind of get stuck in our routines. It's like a, big giant checklist, hamster wheel checklist. So getting yourself out of that routine and out of that behavior pattern is really helpful. It helps, excite joy. And I know that might sound like a little hokey, but doing new things or doing something that you've been meaning to do is a really helpful way to break those behavioral patterns, to break those thought processes, to break those kind of neural pathways, to break it up and then really experience that happiness and joy without the constraints of an agenda, a goal, a KPI, things like that. Fifth tip, plan the trip, plan the girls' night, plan the vacation you've been wanting to go on. There are a million reasons, and there will always be a million reasons to not go. Right? I could, we could talk about it all day long. Right? There's, I don't have childcare, I have money, I don't have time, I'm too busy, end of year, reports, goals, what have you. Right? And it's so hard, especially being a working mom in a leadership role, because you give so much of yourself. And when it's time to take care of you, it's kind of not as important to you as it is important to you to take care of everybody else. So plan the trip. Plan the damn trip. Go. Whatever it is that you've been meaning to do with a friend, with a partner, go. Your work will be there when you get back. Whoever you leave behind, whether it be a dog or an elderly parent or a child, will be okay. And you have to be whole and feel whole in order to do what you need to do on a daily basis. So reconnecting with friends, family, in a form of a trip is a really great suggestion. The last thing I'm going to talk about is really understanding your emotional needs. Okay, so we talked a little bit about establishing those triggers and kind of helping yourself understand what causes those things, and then kind of circling all the way back to understanding your emotional needs. So when you're burnt out, when you're disconnected, and you don't understand what you need, then nobody else understands what you need. Okay, so if you can figure that out, maybe it's a little bit of a break when you get through the door. Right? Maybe you need to say, okay, I'm coming home. Call whoever, babysitter, partner, whoever's at home, hey, I'm going to be home in 20 minutes. I'm going to need like 15 minutes when I walk through the door to decompress, to change, to put my stuff down, to get a drink of water, whatever it is, right? Maybe you need a transition time, right? Or maybe you're ready to go, ready to go when you get home, but then, come 8 o'clock, you really need a break. So understanding what it is that you need emotionally, what's going to help you kind of get back in there with that connection, and then helping other people understand what you need is huge. Because if you don't understand what you need and your people don't understand what you need, then you're not going to get it, right? Like there's no way. And we're not like psychics running around, right? Like, so you really need to understand what type of emotional needs you have. So so you can make that happen for yourself and set those particular boundaries. And then the person who is, your partner, whoever, can also help you with those things. Okay. So tell me if this is resonating with you, please. I would love to know if anybody who has experienced this type of disconnection. It's really common with women, really common in this space to feel this way. I talk to a lot of women who, come home from work and sit on the couch and kind of get into the phone zone and just scroll. Not because they're not madly in love with their kids or their partner, but it's like, it's so emotionally draining to just think about doing one more thing that they just can't. So this is a tough space to be in. And I definitely, validate that it is very, very challenging. So try some of these things. Let me know how it goes for you. I'd love to know. Today we talked about the 6 kind of top tips to reconnect with family and personal life. Thank you so, so much. I know this kind of was short and sweet today, but I know that everybody is really, really busy, and I so appreciate your time and being here. Talk just for a second about the program that I offer. It's a 12-week group executive coaching and burnout prevention and recovery program. Okay, it's all inclusive. It's specifically designed for moms and executive leadership, and it can be potentially covered by your employer. So I have worked with 2 women recently who got the entire cost of the program covered by their employer. If not, maybe partial reimbursement is professional development. A lot of organizations, especially at the executive level, will have some funds potentially available for programs like this for their executives. So check that out. And in the program, we're going to learn how to beat burnout, reconnect with your family, re-engage with your personal life, okay, while serving as a better, more successful leader. You're going to be, really deriving more fulfillment from your career. Okay, you're going to learn how to set strong, healthy boundaries, decrease high functioning anxiety, and you're going to get rid of that mom guilt. Okay, you're going to be performing better at work. Managing teams is going to be, easier, more transformative, super sustainable. And this isn't just learning what to do in 12 weeks. It really is learning, how to make this sustainable for the rest of your career. Okay, I know that this is challenging and I want to be able to support you. DM me right away. I'll send you access to my personal calendar. We can book a no pressure free call and we can just chat about some strategies, talk about your specific situation, see if we can come up with some really good planning for you, and really to see if it's a good fit for us to work together. And if not, I'll point you in a really great direction. Okay. Thank you again all so much. Looking forward to seeing what you all choose next week. And please let me know how I can support you.